here you can see, I think, a very, very important distinction between something we called a method and another term, which is methodology. So, I mean, if you look through the definition, you can see that a method is actually a very prescriptive, sort of limiting thing, because it says that if the teacher wants to use a method, let's say a task-based learning or something else, TPR, they have to stick to all the principles that this method suggests. Yeah, so you can't really walk away from any of this, because a method is a system. And look at the definition. It says teachers are to follow this principle. Yeah, so it's quite strict, you see. So a method is actually a very prescriptive thing. Whereas if you look at something we call methodology, it's a much more general term. And I really like the definition suggested by Scott Thornberry in 2017, which is basically methodology implies using different techniques, different activities, different classroom procedures and task setups. And it doesn't matter which particular method or approach, which was developed at a certain time in history, they're originally associated with. So methodology is associated with freedom in my head. Like, it allows the teacher to use whatever they like, mix and match, of course, thinking of good teaching and the students' needs. So I think it makes sense to operate this term, methodology, instead of a method, also because basically all this evolution of teaching methods we've just talked about has ended up in a trap, because talking about where we are now, many people talk about something called the post-method era. Post-method, notice. And this post-method era we live in and we teach in is associated with the following characteristics. So people talk about this post-method condition, about the death of method, principled eclecticism. We can mix and match bits and pieces of different methods and approaches, but it's going to be principled only if you know why. And also, I think this is also an important thing, the replacement of methods by the era of textbook defined practice. So what this is that, very often when a teacher teaches somewhere, they're given a book and they can't choose a course book. Very often course books sort of imply a certain method or approach, and you have to do something about it.